Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, guys. Now, any questions?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, guys. So where were we? Six. Okay, guys. So we will still talk about the organelles, and so far we have talked about the nucleus. We have talked about the endoplasmic reticulum. And in the endoplasmic reticulum, we said that we had the rough and we had the smooth. Okay, I don't like this one. We also talked about the what was it? Okay, it's the Golgi apparatus. I don't like this one. So, okay. Now our next, what the hell, man? This is a pain now. Now our next, what do we call it? Organelle, that's going to be the mitochondria. Now, guys, as far as the mitochondria is concerned, we will mean, yes, okay, just briefly call it, yes, okay, the powerhouse of the cell. Okay, and what we mean, yes, okay, mean by power here is energy. Okay, so this means, yes, okay, where the energy is produced. That's what we're going to mean by the powerhouse. Now, how is that? Now, mainly, yes, okay, by a per process that may be referred to as cellular respiration. And why in the blue do we use the word respiration? Mainly because, okay, it needs oxygen to be carried out. Okay. Now, what we talked about earlier, when we say that, for instance, yes, okay, glucose. Now, yes, okay, be sure that that's going to be, yes, okay, in the presence of oxygen. Right, okay. I was going to, yes, okay, produce like waste products, which would be, yes, okay, carbon dioxide. That would be, yes, okay, production of water. And it will produce what we can call, yes, okay, energy in the form of ATP. This was mainly, yes, okay, as a result of cellular respiration. Okay, and as a result of that, yes, okay, what we got was energy in the form of ATP. And where is it that this cellular respiration happens? Which mainly, yes, okay, is going to, yes, okay, break up glucose to, yes, okay, provide the cell with energy. That is going to happen in the mitochondria. Okay, so cellular respiration, yes, okay, that happens in the mitochondria. And due to that, because okay, the outcome of it is going to be okay, the production of energy from the breakdown of glucose that we said was the source of energy, or the molecule that was going to be used as a source of energy for the cell, for the cell. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So yes, okay, as we talked about, as we briefly mentioned it the other day, and we say yes, okay, if for instance, okay, for instance, okay, you were running, okay. Now you can say yes, okay, as you run, yes, okay, what is going to happen? Yes, okay, you will make, yes, okay, breathe faster, faster, faster. Okay, now that can be, yes, okay, explained in two ways. Either because, yes, okay, you will need more oxygen to break down more sugar to, yes, okay, produce more energy. Okay. Or you can also say, yes, okay, as you, yes, okay, break down more and more energy, what is going to happen? Yes, okay, the production of carbon dioxide is going to increase. And as an increase in that carbon dioxide, that's actually just okay going to trigger your what do you want to call it? Okay, respiratory centers in the brain. And actually that's okay, send a signal that okay, yes, you need to breathe faster because we need to get rid of this increased amount of carbon dioxide. And as an exchange for that, it's okay, you will inhale more oxygen. Okay. Did that make any sense?
Yes.
Okay. So wholly and solely, yes, okay, we can say yes, okay, the mitochondria, yes, okay, is mainly going to be yes, okay, responsible for what we call cellular respiration. Okay. Which is going to yes, okay, break down the glucose molecule, well, okay, hopefully yes, okay, in the presence of oxygen. And okay, yes, what mainly happens by the breakdown of this, okay, glucose molecules as the carbon separate, the hydrogen separate, and the oxygen separate. The carbon will then join with some of the oxygen. The hydrogen will join with some of the more oxygen and produce water and carbon dioxide. But mainly as okay as a breakdown of the bonds between yes, okay, the carbons, the hydrogens, and the oxygen atoms that is going to yes, okay, release energy. Okay. So first and foremost, that's okay. This is just okay as a result of cellular respiration. Is it that the mitochondria is okay produces the energy that the cell would need for its functions. Any questions about that?
No.
Another function, no, we can say, okay, this was mainly as okay, the major function of your mitochondria. But we can say, okay, another function that the mitochondria will have is going to be as okay, something which is known as apoptosis. I mean, that's okay, maintain or regulate apoptosis. And one of the blue is that this apoptosis here is. Now we can mainly say, okay, shortly say that that's going to be, yes, okay, the life cycle of the cell. Or let's put it this way and say, yes, okay, not just the life cycle, but actually that's okay, the programmed life cycle of the cell. Okay, so a predetermined, yes, okay, lifetime of the cell, that's what you would call that's what you call apoptosis. Which mainly mean that, okay, yes, at the end of this predetermined or pre-planned or programmed life cycle, what's going to happen, yes, okay, that will lead to, yes, okay, death of the cell. Okay. Now, in most instances, yes, okay, if a cell dies, what's going to happen? That means it's okay, going to yes, okay, be replaced by a new cell. Okay. Now, mainly, yes, okay, two, yes, okay, examples where we, yes, okay, may refer to, yes, okay, may talk about, yes, okay, apoptosis of cells. Is going to be, for instance, yes, okay, skin cells. Okay. And skin cells, that's okay, they have an average lifetime of 21 days. So that's okay, the skin cells that you have now, especially that's okay on your epithelial layer of the skin. Well, okay, those are going to be gone in like, okay, a day or two. Or actually, that's okay, take them up to, that's okay, 21 days, just okay, go from the bottom layers to travel up, 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 up. Mainly, that's okay, as we'll talk about, that's okay, when we get to the integumentary system is, that okay, that's eventually, that's okay, in 21 days, they will complete this journey and ultimately, it's okay, shut off. Because they died. But it's okay, as they died, they're just being replaced by new cells, which carry on as okay, the same cycle. So pretty much okay, as the predetermined cycle of life is what we can call the apoptosis. And that's again, that's okay, a function that is controlled regulated by the mitochondria. Another kind of cell, yes, okay, when we may talk, yes, okay, refer to, yes, okay, apoptosis is going to be considered, okay, the red blood cells. Now, their lifetime is anything between, yes, okay, 3 to 4 months. Which means you can say it's okay, it's going to be 90 to 120 days. Okay. That's the lifetime that they can live. Or that's the time for which they can live. So after yes, okay, these 3 to 4 months here, or yes, okay, during these 3 to 4 months here, yes, okay, they are going to eventually, yes, okay, be, you can say it's okay, filtered out of the circulation and eventually it's okay, be, you can say it's okay, destroyed. Okay. But mainly it's okay just to get replaced by new blood cells, which are okay, yes, for the red blood cells are going to, yes, okay, be formed by the bone marrow. Clear? Okay. So apoptosis, that's okay, we can say that's okay. The death or the life cycle of your cell that is going to as well be as okay determined by the mitochondria. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Any questions at this point? So as far as okay as our mitochondria was concerned, yes, okay, it mainly had two functions. The major function was that okay, yes, it was the powerhouse of the cell. The second was that okay, we're responsible for apoptosis, which we can say okay is that's okay, death of cell. Or programming of death of cell. Now, guys, let us just go on to yes, okay, to our cell in the book or diagram here. And it's okay, actually, it's okay, look at our mitochondria. And guys, if you look at this fellow here, or you yes, okay, this one here. This is the mitochondria. Is that clear? Okay, so if you look at it, Now the mitochondria itself is going to have, okay, it's going to have, okay, two membranes. So we're going to have, okay, so we can do it this way. We can say, okay, it has this outer membrane. And we can actually see that, okay, as it all has this inner membrane. And this inner membrane has mean that's, okay, going to be thrown into these folds here. Is that clear? Now,
Yeah.
these folds here that the inner membrane is going to be thrown into are going to be known as cristae. Crista is one. Cristae with an E is, if you talk more, and one. Is that clear?
Is there normally more than one
Oh yeah,
inside
there's
of?
going to be more than one here.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, your mitochondria will just have been something like this.
Okay.
Okay. So it's going to be more than one. Clear? Okay. So practically, yes, okay, this is the, you can say, yes, okay, the appearance or shape of your mitochondria. Now here we call, yes, okay, these folds of the inner membrane, yes, okay, they are called cristae. Now, do you mind if I just go off this slide here for a sec?
No.
Okay. Okay, because, okay, where are we? Right, okay. So we can say, yes, okay, we had our mitochondria. Now again, so again, mitochondria is made up of two membranes. It's going to have an outer membrane. And okay, as this inner membrane here is, okay, is going to be thrown into these. You can say it's, okay, finger-like folds here. Or projections. Okay, that's what you want to call them. And what we are going to call them is, they will be referred to as the cristae. Is that clear?
Yep.
Good. Now, guys, the question is, that, okay, yes, what is the function of these cristae? Not just the cristae in your, what you want to call this, okay, mitochondria. Guys, in any structure in the body where you may see that, okay, yes, that the surface is thrown into, yes, okay, finger-like projections like these. Okay. Okay. So we can say, okay, the function of these cristae, or we can say, okay, roughly. It's okay, any, it's okay. If you mind to say, okay, finger-like projections on the surface. Okay. Here is going to, yes, okay, be, yes, okay, in context to the crystal, but it's okay in any structure, yes, okay, where we have, yes, okay, finger-like projection like these on the surface. The whole purpose of that is mainly, yes, okay, to increase what we call, yes, okay, the surface area. The area of the surface. Now, what is that increase in the surface of the area going to do? it is going to just increase the efficiency. So the concept mainly is that, had your mitochondria been like this, because there would have been an outer membrane, and have it says, that the inner membrane would have been like this. Well, first of all, in this case, if we can say, we'll have had a lower or a smaller surface area. Okay, which mainly as we can say, will decrease the exposure. And due to decrease in exposure, that would have led to an decrease in efficiency. So here, mainly by having it thrown into these folds, they mainly say that it's going to increase the exposure to we can say the glucose molecules and oxygen and so on. And mainly as it decreases the exposure, is going to increase the efficiency of the mitochondria to be able to perform or produce more power or more energy, or convert more sugar or glucose into more energy. So roughly speaking, just by increasing the surface area, in this instance, it's going to be to increase the efficiency of the mitochondria. Okay. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But mainly as in this case is to increase its exposure to as more glucose. Okay. In the mitochondria. But mainly, guys, what we will see later on in other chapters and others, when we are talking about other organs and so on. So that as you may have as thing being thrown into folds like these, and what is that mainly going to be? To increase the surface area. And what that increase in surface area will do is mainly because that's increase the efficiency or whatever the function that this structure here will have. Okay, but in your mitochondria, we call these folds in the inner membrane, are going to be called crista, as we had just talked about one. But since we have more than one, that's why it's going to be multiple crista or cristae. Okay, but their main purpose is, what they mainly do is just to increase the surface area. And as by increasing the surface area, you can say, make that individual mitochondria becoming more efficient in its production of energy. Any questions?
No.
No.
Okay, guys. Now, these were our, what we can call regular, what to call it, organelles that most of our cells would have. Okay. So what do we have? Well, every cell was going to have a cell membrane. Okay, if the cell membrane is just disrupted, broken down, etc., what's going to happen? Well, the cell will leak. Or you can say, the cell material will leak out of the cell. That's going to be when it gets destroyed. Okay. We had cytoplasm. Most cells are going to be filled with some sort of fluid material. Okay, in which yes, okay, or other organelles that is going to be yes, okay, inside the cell mainly yes, okay, will be dispersed. Clear? Most cells, and okay, later on in a later chapter, you will know why I said most cells. Most cells will have a nucleus. Most cells will have a nucleus. Okay, not all cells. Some cells, that's okay. If you see a nucleus in them, you should be worried. Okay, okay. So most cells will have a nucleus. What did we say the nucleus was? That was the brain of the cell. Pretty much okay. As if a cell has a nucleus, well, okay, all the functions of that cell was going to be as okay, controlled, regulated by the messages from the nucleus. What is the messaging material or controlling material that the nucleus had? DNA. Right? Where did that DNA come from? That's okay, it came from the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which was rough mainly because on its surface, that's okay, it had small vesicles that contained RNA. And we call those vesicles ribosomes. Okay. We also had, okay, we can say it's okay, packaging and dispensing depot material in the cell, which we call the Golgi apparatus. Okay, so anything that needs to be as okay, you can say it's okay, send out to the cell in whatever form, need to be packed in yes, okay, smaller or bigger vesicles. So sugars that okay, yes, would be used as a source of energy. Well, okay, the sugars enter the cell. Okay, but it would need to be packed by the Golgi apparatus. And the Golgi apparatus means you're going to just okay be responsible. Okay, say, well, okay, here's a pack of sugar or glucose or whatever you want to call it. And okay, it was going to be sent out to the designated area. Primary target or primary okay, recipient of that glucose was going to be the mitochondria because he was going to be the guy who will be using this sugar glucose, right? Did that make sense? Okay. Other cargoes, yes, okay. Other proteins will be yes, okay. Also, yes, okay. Yes, okay. Packed in vesicles. And then we had this specific vesicle that we called a lysosome, mainly as okay, because it contained what we called an enzyme. Did you guys recall that? Okay. Okay, guys. Then we say as okay, the mitochondria, and we just talked about this fellow here early this morning, right? Okay. So the powerhouse, okay. Any as okay function that in which the cell would need energy, where in the but that energy is going to be produced at the mitochondria. Okay, so you can say okay, that's the electric grid of your cell. Okay, that's where the energy that the cell is going to be using will be coming from. Okay, what's going to be a major fuel molecule for the cell? Prime is going to be okay, glucose. Okay, good. Now, guys, now it's not written in your book like this, but okay, I just talk. It's okay. I don't really like this. Okay. Now we can say yes, okay. other thing that, okay, that just that the cell will have is we can say, okay, specialized organelles. Right, okay. Now, the reason that I say specialized organelles is that it's not going to be every cell that will have these organelles here. Okay, so these organelles, I mean, yes, okay, going to be as okay. First of all, as okay, they're going to have as okay specialized functions. Second of all, as okay, they were only as okay, and that must make them specialized is that they will only be found in the cells which will be needing to perform those functions. Now, the first one that we, okay, so we can mean, okay, the three, yes, okay, specialized organelles that we can talk about will be, first of all, is going to be, yes, okay, a vacuole. The next one we can say is, okay, will be cilia. And okay, yes. The third one will be, yes, okay, flagellum. Now, guys, first of all, yes, okay, what is a vacuole? Now, guys, vacuoles. Now, we already, yes, okay, said that, okay, we talked about vesicles. Okay, we already talked about vesicle. What was a vesicle? Well, okay, it's okay, there was going to be, okay, a small vacuole. Okay, small is okay. Let's just say it's okay, bubble-like structure. And most likely it's okay with a cargo or with a substance. Clear? Most likely it's okay, these domains okay were produced by the Golgi apparatus. Now a vacuole, guys, that's mainly it's okay, it's going to be a large. That's okay. We can say it's okay, a bubble-like structure. Yeah, and of course that's okay. It's going to just okay contain a substance. So you may say yes, okay, we have a cell. Well, okay, good. Okay, yes, this cell here is okay, is going to be filled with a lot of small vesicles. No question about that. But then yes, okay, remain also yes, okay, contain a big vacuole. Is that clear? Now, guys, where is it that we find these vacuoles? Okay, because okay, as I said, it was going to be as okay, a specialized organizer. It's not going to be every cell that will have vacuoles. And these are mainly as okay found in cells that secrete a secretion. And that secretion or that substance that is going to be secreted actually is okay, is going to be stored in this vacuole here. Did that make sense?
So they're found in cells that secrete?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Okay. Now you may experience that right now as we go into the winter season. A runny nose. Right? Okay. A runny nose. Now, what does that tell you? That mainly tells you that, okay, yes, the cells in your nasal passage. What is it that they have? They're going to have vacuoles in them. Now, in the winter and the cold season, yes, okay, in allergy season, yes, okay, that secretion is going to be good, but then too much good is bad. Even on a regular day basis, it's okay, you may say, okay, no, hell no. I don't produce that much. Well, okay, yes, whether you know it or not, up to, yes, okay, 500 cc's of secretion is produced by your nasal passage. It just gets more than that if you have a cold or have your allergy season, or it's okay having your allergies and so on. So clear? Okay. Okay. So, okay. For where do these secretions come from or where they're stored in? They are stored in, okay, as you can say, okay, a bigger bubble-like structure in the cell, which is going to be vacuole. So they're going to be as okay cells which are, you can say, as okay, have it as a function to, yes, okay, secrete substances that will have vacuoles, which are mainly as okay, we can say it's okay, just going to be big vesicles. Clear? Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So just think of, okay, as where else is it that your body secrete things? Your stomach. So yes, okay, those secretions that, okay, yes, is going to be produced by the cells in your stomach. Those secretions are going to, yes, okay, be stored by the cells in vacuoles. And of course, that's okay, that's something that the cell continuously, it's okay, will keep on producing. Okay, but those secretions will be stored in bigger vesicles than normal. There's going to be a okay a vacuole. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Good. Any questions, guys? Good. Okay. So we mainly as okay find these in. Sorry, yes, okay, what we can call as okay cells which are going to be secreting. Now, cilia. Now we can mainly as okay just take our cilia as okay here on this cell here. Okay. Oh, let's just okay. Sorry, guys. Let's just go to this fellow here. Because okay, what they mean is okay, did with this cell here is okay, this cell, okay, yes, these fellows here. These fellows here is okay, that's what they call cilia. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Good. So what does that tell you? Or what we will get is okay, from that we can mainly says okay, if we say that okay, this here was our cell, okay, they had vacuoles and so on, it had vesicles, it had okay, a big vacuole, which was going to okay, hold a substance that will secrete. But let's just give this cell here as okay, some cilia as well. Okay. Now it's only going to be as okay on one surface of the cell that, okay, yes, the cell will have cilia. So what is it that these cilia are going to be? That's okay, they're going to be short. Now the reason I say short is okay, you'll get that in just a little bit. Because it's okay, here like projections. Because what the mainly is okay just look like is like short here. Or short hairs on the surface of the cell. Is that clear?
Yep.
Good. Now, some of you may ask, okay, what is going to be as okay the function of these cilia here? Now, what these cilia as okay may do or will be doing is, well, okay, yes, we can say it's okay, they will, that's okay, be dancing back and forth. So actually, it's okay, they will move back and forth like this. And what is that going to lead to? Yes, okay, that actually going to, yes, okay, we can say it's okay, it will, by this movement or dancing back and forth of the cilia, actually, yes, okay, will move substances. Yes, okay, we can say it's okay across the, let's say it's okay now across, okay, yes. In, okay, yes. One direction. Now, let me just give you guys an example. You walk into a dusty room. Right, okay, you walk into a dusty room, there's going to be, okay, a lot of dust particles in that room. A lot of dust particles in that room. Okay. Some of those dust particles, just okay, enters into your airways. Most likely, yes, okay, your nose in this case here. Now, okay, one thing that, okay, yes, the cell may do is, okay, yes, we can say it's okay, mainly it's okay due to the irritation or due to, yes, okay, the sensation of, okay, as dust particles. It may, as okay, secrete some of the secretions. But what these dust particles also are going to do is they, yes, okay, well, we can say, okay, trigger the cilia, which might first be like this. What's going to happen is that, okay, as these cilia, okay, may change from this position to go like this. And then go back to this. Clear? So that movement mainly as okay will prevent as okay the dust particles to as okay, you can say, get further deeper into your airways. Okay. Most likely as okay, what this movement here as okay will come with is going to be with an achoo.
Bless you.
Right? That's what happens. So as you may go like this, what's going to happen? Yes, okay, the cilia may go, okay, let's go, and okay, did that make sense? Okay, so here, yes, okay, you can say, yes, okay, they may be used to, yes, okay, trap any substances that may, yes, okay, try to enter the body. But not just that. Even, yes, okay, guys, and again, yes, okay, when we go deeper down to the gut, you will mainly see that, okay, as the inside of your cells of your gut, first of all, yes, okay, it's going to be thrown into folds. But on the fold, yes, okay, what is it that we have? A lot of small cilia like structures. And what are they going to do? Two things. Move the substances along your gut by the motion. But also, yes, okay, are going to, yes, okay, be grabbing onto the material and try to, yes, okay, absorb it. Okay. So that's okay. What cilia most likely is okay will be doing is okay, yes. Maybe that's okay, be small here like projections on the surface of the cells. And what is that they would be doing is okay, moving to a greater or lesser extent. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, why do you think I asked you that?
Because there's hair inside the ear.
I was gonna say,
No.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, my dear, you want to say something?
no, I was thinking the same thing. I thought there were little
They
silly.
are.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. Now, what do we have? Yes, okay, we have the ear canal, we have the eardrum. As any sound or any wave, yes, okay, hits that eardrum. The reason we call it an eardrum is mainly, yes, okay, because, okay, it looks like the membrane of a drum. But that's going to, yes, okay, vibrate as sound waves hits it. What we have in middle ear are three smaller bones. We will talk about those later on. But what those bones actually are going to do is, okay, they are going to just, okay, transfer that vibration from the eardrum into the inner ear. And what is it that we have in the inner ear is mainly just, okay, two canal systems. And on the inside those canal systems is a thin fluid that actually, as okay, gets into, as okay, a wave-like motion or produces waves as those vibrations from the eardrum is transferred through the bones in the middle ear to the inner ear. And what is it that those waves are going to do? Well, okay, that's on the inside of the cells, and okay, that canal system in the ear is that we have small cilia. And they dance back and forth. Dance back and forth as okay, going to this wave-like motion. And that's what actually is okay, is picked up by your ear or nerve of hearing and transferred to its okay, the hearing center in your brain. And that's how you hear what is being said. And Teresa's dog is also hearing what's being said. So he goes, okay, but my hearing is 1,000 times stronger than yours. So yes, okay, Teresa, even though you're wearing headphones, you can still hear me. And I guess, okay, he or she doesn't like you to be talked to by a stranger. Especially somebody that he can't see. Okay. Okay. But that's, so you can see us, okay? Okay. But yes, okay. What are they? They are, yes, okay, pretty small. What are they going to do? They're not going to physically move the cell, but they mean yes, okay, just going to cause that, okay, things on the surface of the cell may move. Mean it's okay because it is dance. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
Now, okay, as I know you guys by now, it's okay, you know, you don't watch movies. But have any of you ever seen, yes, okay, documentaries of, okay, as life in deep ocean and things like that? You see corals and, okay, what do? They dance. So that's pretty much, okay, the same kind of movement or dance. Or if you just stand on a field with, okay, yes, a crop, usually as, okay, things as wheat or something. And as, okay, as a breeze, you would actually say, so see as, okay, the grass or the crop is, okay, dancing back and forth. Actually moving in response to, as, okay, to that breeze of wind or air. So the similar ways that there are going to be as, okay, that the cilia will be moving. Did that make any sense? Good. Okay. Now, guys, the last fellow. And that's going to be as, okay, the flagellum. Flagellum is if it's single, flagella if it's more than one. Okay, so flagellum if it's one, flagella if it's two or more than two. It's not going to be pronounced as flagella, it's going to be flagella. But what are these? These are mainly going to be as, okay, long. We can say it's, okay, here like, okay. But I actually, it's, okay, use the word tail-like projections. On the cell. So yes, okay, the cilia is, okay, they were short. Where, okay, as when we talk about the flagellum or flagella, they most likely is, okay, going to be longer. Okay. And guys, usually it's okay if a cell may have one or multiple flagella. We can say it's okay if this is a cell. Let's say it's okay that it has multiple flagellae, for instance. Okay. Now comes the function of this. This is meaning that's okay. Is going to be, we can say it's okay, responsible for the motion, or what we can call as, okay, movement of the cell. So it's mainly as, okay, going to be cells that will be moving. And what do you mean by moving? That's okay, that they actually, that's okay, will be changing their position. That may be as, okay, equipped with flagellum or flagella. Okay, so yes, okay, some, yes, okay, unicellular organisms, especially as, okay, things such as, okay, as protozoa and so the way by which, okay, the mechanics, okay, the tool that they may, as, okay, need to be able to, as, okay, move from place to place is mainly, as, okay, by these flagella here. Okay, that they may, as, okay, either use as a propellant or, as, okay, it may actually, as, okay, curve like this and then get straightened out. And what that actually will do is mean is, okay, we can say, okay, in that instance, okay, push the cell this way. Now there's going to be, as, okay, one human cell. I mean, yes, okay, have this long flagellum. And actually, that's going to be, as, okay, due to the propelling action of this flagellum here, that this cell here actually will be able to move. And that's going to be the sperm. Clear? But it's only going to be, as, okay, cells that actually, as, okay, physically will be moving, as, okay, from place to place to place to place to place that may need a flagellum. Okay. Now, please keep in mind, guys, it's not going to be every cell that is going to be moving that will need a flagellum. Your red blood cells, for instance, okay, they're going to be moving, it's okay, from spot to spot to spot to spot. They don't have a flagellum. Okay. Clear? So as far as, okay, the human cells are concerned, yes, okay, it's mainly, yes, okay, just going to be one kind of cell, yes, okay, which will be equipped with flagellum, and that will be the sperm cells. Did that make sense? So it's okay, it was an organelle, but it was a specialized organelle, mainly because it was only, as, okay, found in cells which, as you can say, it's okay, needing to, it's okay, perform that specialized function, which in this case here was going to be swimming. Clear? Or if some of you have ever, yes, okay, seen tadpoles or frogs. Now, eventually, that's okay. Once they become full-fledged frogs, that's okay. They lose their tail. But tadpoles, that's okay. To begin with, that's okay. They have that tail. And what is that tail going to enable them to do? Swim around. Okay. Once they develop, that's okay. You can say it's okay. The legs and hands, or whatever you want to call those, that's okay. The tail is going to fall away because they don't need that tail anymore. Because that's okay. Now they will be able to jump. Did that make sense? And if you haven't seen tadpoles, then I don't know what you've been doing your whole childhood. Now, off the record, although that's okay. Close to us, okay, to our house, there was this little stream. But the thing was, it was okay right next to the rail tracks, on which is okay, not regular trains, but actually it's like express trains will be running, cargo trains. The main is okay, we'll just take goods. And okay, guys, okay, I didn't know better. It was illegal to just okay be by those tracks. But we went to those tracks because of the tadpoles. So it's okay, early spring and summer. We just okay go with our okay beach buckets and spades and things like that down to that little stream by those tracks to try to just okay catch tadpoles. What did we do with them? Nothing. We just caught them, looked at them for a little bit, and then we just okay let them go. So so that was that. Okay. Good. Now, guys, any questions about your cell? Any questions about your organelles? Clear? But chemically, it's okay. Structurally, it's okay. What was it that your organelles were made up of? Molecules. Bigger or smaller molecules. What were those molecules made up of? Elements. Right, okay. Okay. Now, just check. That's okay. We can say it's okay. Your midday. That's okay. Early break. And I see you guys back in, should we say, at 10:30. Okay. And we will talk a bit about, yes, okay, what we can call, yes, okay, movement of material across the cell membrane or plasma membrane, as they call it. Okay. Okay, guys, welcome back. And any questions at this moment?
No.
No.
Good. So, guys, okay, let's go to our next topic, which is going to be, you can see, is okay. Transport across the membrane. What membrane? Yes, okay. Now we previously, yes, okay, call it cell membrane. But yes, okay, here they also, yes, okay, may just refer to as the plasma membrane. Okay, which mainly mean, okay, yes, that if this here is okay was our cell membrane, then we can say it's okay, this area here is okay, that will be, let's see, this is the cell membrane. We can say it's okay, this here will be the cell. What do we have in the cell is going to be, yes, okay, cytoplasm. And okay, yes, this area is okay. Outside the cell is going to be, yes, okay, the extracellular space. Which means, yes, okay, we can say it's okay, will be, yes, okay, where we have blood. But the main thing that we will talk about is mainly going to be, okay, what may cause substances to enter the cell, what may cause substances to leave the cell. So mainly as, okay, this travel or transport across the cell membrane is going to be as, okay, what we will be talking about. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Now, guys, when we talk about, it's okay, this transport across the cell membrane, we can mainly, as okay, categorize that into two major groups, types. There's going to be, as okay, what we'll call passive transport. Okay. And it doesn't really matter which direction. What determines the direction in which a substance will be moving, we'll get to that in just a little bit. But the thing is mainly going to be as okay in the term passive. Where, okay, as we call it, passive transport mainly as okay because we can say it's okay, no energy is being utilized by the cell. So mainly as okay, a form of transport in which there are going to as okay be substances that cross the cell membrane, but where no energy, or we can say it's okay that the cell is okay don't utilize any energy or don't use any energy to ensure that transport of substances across the membrane. That kind of transport is going to be referred to as a passive transport. So in passive transport, yes, okay, no energy is going to be utilized by the cell to carry that on.
So does that mean that it's just floating through basically?
Yeah,
Okay.
without the consumption of energy.
Right. Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Whereas, okay, yes, the other type of transport, yes, okay, still across the cell membrane, in and out, that's a whole different story. Is going to be as okay, what we'll call, okay, since it's across the cell membrane, it's going to be as okay, a transport. But we mainly as okay, we'll call this active transport. And what is it that we mean by as okay, by the transport as okay being active? Sorry. That would mainly mean that okay, yes, that the transport is using energy. So we mainly as okay call it an active transport, mainly because okay, for this transport across the cell membrane to be carried out, what's going to happen is okay, most likely as okay, it will be the cell that will be using, that uses energy to ensure that transport of substances is okay to happen through the cell membrane. Right. So just look at the term active and passive. Right now, what are you guys? Mostly passive. Okay. You're just sitting there, right? Okay. You're not running around like a headless chicken. Okay. Did that make sense? So right now, yes, okay, you're not really using, you still are, but okay. That's active, but okay, yes. For active learning, yes, okay, what will happen? You had to get up in the morning, get ready, get in your cars, or whatsoever, right? Okay. Get out of your car, yes, okay, walk from the car to the classroom. So that's okay, some sort of activity. And what that require? That requires, okay, as you use energy. So you can say, okay, passive transport is mainly, yes, okay, going to, yes, okay, is going to be a transport that's going to happen, even though, yes, okay, the cell is not doing anything. It just happens passively without the cell, yes, okay, using any energy at all. Whereas for active transport, yes, okay, what will be required? It will be required that the cell, yes, okay, uses energy. That's the main difference between the two. Is that clear? Good.
Yes.
Good. Okay, guys. Now, when we talk or when we say it's okay, passive transport, now since we say it's okay that was going to be it's okay transport across the membrane, okay, where we mean it's okay say that okay as there was no energy induced. So the question comes, well, okay, then how does the transportation happens? There gotta be something that is going to just okay ensure that okay as substance may move from, let's say it's okay area A to area B, or from area B to area A. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going to be common in passive transport is that okay is going to be down the concentration gradient. This is mainly just okay, just a statement, okay, as you may just like to remember it. Which mainly mean, guys, that okay is going to be as okay the concentration of the two solutions on either side. That will determine, okay, as whether substances move this way or whether substances moves this way. Now, guys, mainly because we say it's okay down the concentration gradient. What that mainly means, okay, is passive transport. What is that, or how is that going to happen? Is mainly it's okay going to go from a high concentration to a low concentration. So mainly that's okay. That's what we mean by the, that's okay, yes, okay. So from high to low. That's what we, yes, okay, call it, okay. That's why we call it, okay, down the concentration gradient.
Is this still for passive transport?
This is for transport, passive transport media. Yes.
Okay.
Now, some of you will say, okay, what do we mean by a high concentration? What do you mean by a low concentration? Do you guys mind if I go to another slide?
Go
No.
for it.
Good. Because, okay, guys, what we can say is, yes, okay, we may have two jars. Just, yes, okay, explain, yes, okay, what concentration is. Let's say both of these jars here have the same amount of water, okay? So we have, yes, okay, the same amount of water. Let's say, yes, okay, 1 gallon each. Right, okay. Did that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Now you want to make okay a solution. Now in one of these jars of water, where we have 1 gallon of water, we may say it's okay that we add 1 pound of sugar. Just give me a sec. Hello? Oh, Will? Huh? Okay, I'm not free now. Huh? No, by noon? Fine. Where here we can say as okay, in this one here is okay, we may just add half a pound of sugar. So what do we get as a result of this? In both instances, okay, we get what we as okay, now just gonna call it as okay a sugar solution. Okay, or sugar water. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good. But mainly as okay, because we can say as okay here for each gallon of water, that was 1 pound of sugar. Now comparing as okay, these two we can mainly say as okay that this here is going to be as okay concentrated sugar solution is going to have a great concentration. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Where here it's okay, in 1 gallon of water, we only added, yes, okay, half a pound of sugar. So it's okay, okay. So for each gallon of water in this container here, it's okay, what are we going to have? That's going to be, it's okay, a low concentration. Now, what pretty much, okay, is going to happen, because, okay, let's just say, okay, these was 2 compartments, which, okay, in this instance, okay, was separated by, yes, okay, cell membrane. Now, what passive transport mainly is going to cause is that, okay, yes, what we may have is that it will be as okay, either some water and or some sugar that moves from the high concentration to the low concentration. Okay. Okay. So it's mainly as okay the concentration difference between, yes, okay, these two containers here that will cause us, okay, that fluid or water or particles may move from one container to the other. Okay. Mainly because, okay, because at the end of the day, yes, okay, what remain is, okay, just want to have is that, okay, as we can mean it says, okay, that in both cases, okay, per gallon of water, right, okay, we're going to, as, okay, have end of it, 3/4 of a pound of sugar solution. Did that make sense?
Yes.
So both of these solutions are going to be equally concentrated as a result of passive transport across the cell membrane. Did that make sense? So it was mainly as, okay, the difference in the concentration of the solutions here that determined the movement of water. In this case, okay, the water will be moving this way. And or as, okay, the movement of sugar. Okay. And that most likely as, okay, will come to a standstill as, okay, once the concentration of both these solutions here are equal. Not that you have 1 pound of sugar per gallon in one container and, okay, as half a pound of sugar in the other. But, okay, there's going to be 1 gallon in each. But it's okay, now we are just left with 3/4 of sugar in each. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why we call it, okay. So it's going to be as, okay, the difference in the concentration of the two fluids that will cause the passive transport. Did you guys get that? Right, okay. Now, when we said passive transport, what was that? The main thing or the common thing is, well, that, okay, it doesn't use any energy. So there's not going to be any energy that causes, that's okay, the movement of substances across the membrane. It's just going to be the difference in the concentrations between substances on either side of the cell membrane, inside the cell, outside the cell. Right, okay. Because what is it that we want to establish? We want to establish a equilibrium on both sides. Why do we want to establish equilibrium on both sides? Because that's going to be, okay, a way by which the body maintains homeostasis. You remember that, fellow? Right? Okay. Now, guys, when we talk, so is there any questions about this?
No.
Right, okay. You can mainly say, okay, you say, okay, I don't want to talk sugar. Well, okay, you can talk salt. You can talk lemonade. Right, okay, somebody has, okay, 2 people have made, okay, lemonade stage. That's okay. 1 lemonade is too thick, or it's okay, too strong. 1 is too dilute. Right, okay. Now, guys, when we talk passive transport, now comes a funny thing. But one thing that we said about passive transport, yes, okay, why in the blue was it passive? Is being used by the sun. Okay, but again, it's okay, it was down the concentration gradient. Okay, guys. Now, there are two types, because passive transport, that's going to be, okay, two types of passive transports. One is going to be, okay, what we call diffusion. Did you guys get that? So one type of passive transport is going to be called diffusion. And we can see it's okay, the other type of passive transport is going to be osmosis. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
So two forms of passive transport is going to be, okay, diffusion and osmosis. Okay, guys. Now, when we say diffusion, now this is going to be, okay, we can say, okay, that's going to be transport of, that's okay, we can say, okay, across the cell membrane. We also said that this was going to be, okay, passive, which may mean that, okay, no energy is being consumed or used by the cell to carry out this transport across the cell membrane here. Okay. And yes, okay. It was going to be, okay, down the concentration gradient, which mainly mean that, okay, yes, from high concentration to low concentration. Now the question is, okay, guys, when we talk diffusion, okay, which is going to be, okay, transport across the cell membrane is going to be, okay, or when we specify diffusion, there's going to be, okay, when we talk about the transport across the cell membrane of what is going to be transported when you're talking in diffusion is going to be, okay, molecules and ions. Is that clear? Now, in our previous example, yes, okay, we could mainly say, okay, what is going to be, okay, an example of, for instance, okay, molecule or ion, your sugar. Did that make sense? So if we mainly, yes, okay, just took it this way and say, okay, then we take our cell membrane. We can say it's okay. This side of the cell membrane is okay, it's going to be the cell. And we can say it's okay. This side of the cell membrane is going to be it's okay because it's okay. Extracellular fluid or area. Yeah. Now let us just put it this way and say it's okay here, it's okay. On this side here, it's okay. Or was it that we had? We had a greater concentration of carbohydrates per liter, per gallon, per teaspoon, per cc, whatsoever of the fluid here. Whereas, okay, as inside the cell, yes, okay, that was going to be, yes, okay, a lower concentration of sugar. It could be sugar. We could even say, yes, okay, we for instance, okay, said something like, okay, as ions, yes, okay, it could be, yes, okay, things such as sodium or anything else. Clear? Okay. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the whole, yes, okay, okay. The main thing that was going to, yes, okay, cause, in this case, because it's okay, the sugar, for instance, okay, to move across the cell membrane was mainly because, okay, out here we had a great concentration, and here we had a low concentration. So that concentration, okay, that transport was going to, of sugar across the cell membrane from a high concentration to a low concentration was going to happen until, yes, okay, the levels of sugars on both sides was equal. But this transport of sugar from high concentration to low concentration across the cell membrane is going to be, yes, okay, an example of diffusion, which in itself was okay as an example or a type of passive transport, because it's just the concentration difference between, yes, okay, the two sides of the membrane that causes the transport across the membrane to happen. Did you guys get that? Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Or let it just put it this way. In the school, let's say it's okay, we have two classrooms side by side, equal size, right? Let's assume that, okay, as the classrooms side by side are of the same size, same area, so and so. Did that make sense? Okay. But in one classroom, we have fitted, or we actually, as okay, had placed, let's say it's okay, 20 students. Right? And in another classroom next door, we have 10 students. Now you can mainly say that, okay, yes, in the classroom where we had 20 students, yes, okay, the students are going to be crowded. Because that room is too small to accommodate 20 students or 20 people. They're in the room next door, yes, okay. The students are not crowded because, yes, okay, it's big enough, or it's more than big enough to accommodate just 10 students. Now, what's going to be diffusion? Then we actually, yes, okay, take 5 students from the room where there are 20, make them, yes, okay, walk through the wall, or yes, okay, enter the classroom next door. And what do we have now? 2 similar sized classrooms with 15 students each. So we can mainly say, okay, the movement of those 5 students across the wall. If we say, okay, these students here were molecules or ions, please, molecules and ions will cause it to be an example of diffusion. Did that make any sense? And what is it we have now? Same amount of students in same size classrooms on both sides. Did you girls get that? Or did you guys get that? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. So we say it's okay, passive transport of ions and molecules across cell membrane is going to be diffusion. Any questions? Nope. Good. Because now comes the next thing. Because we said, okay, as the other kind of passive transport is going to be osmosis. Now we again says, okay, this was a passive form of transport. So what is that going to mean? Since it's passive, yes, okay, we can still say it, okay, it's going to be, yes, okay, a transport. In which, well, okay, as there's no energy being used by the cell. Well, guys, do you mind if I go to another slide, because this may need a little bit more space to talk about?
No.
Nope.
Good. Thank you, guys. So, guys, okay, keep in mind, yes, okay, osmosis. Okay, because that's okay. It's a form of passive transport. Okay, and what do we mean by being passive? Oops. No energy being used by the cell. Okay, so we can mainly say, okay, here the cell doesn't really need to okay, use any ATP to carry out this form of transport here. Okay, now we can again, yes, okay, take the, yes, okay, we may say, yes, okay, that we have one cell membrane. Okay, where we can say it's okay. Here it's okay, this is the inside of the cell. And we can say it's okay, this area here is okay, that is outside of the cell. Maybe it's okay, have a fluid here, we have a fluid here. And very mainly, so we'll say it's okay that transport across the cell membrane may go in this direction here or in this direction here. Here. Now, guys, before we go into just okay how osmosis actually is okay happens, there's mainly two things that I want to just okay talk about or introduce you guys to. One thing is going to just okay be in relation to just okay to the osmosis, or which mainly just okay is going to be, we can say it's okay responsible for the osmosis, which is going to be as okay a passive form of transport of substance across the cell membrane, either in this direction or this direction. And that's going to be something that we call the osmotic pressure. Now, guys, before we talk of the osmotic pressure, because usually it's okay when you hear the word pressure, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Did you say when we think of pressure?
Yes.
So like a force, like pressing?
Or when you say pressing, wouldn't that be pushing?
Yeah.
Okay. But unfortunately, the osmotic pressure is not going to be a pushing force, it's rather going to be a
Pulling?
pulling force. Clear? Okay, so osmotic pressure, although that's okay, they use the word pressure, but it's not going to be as okay. A pushing force is going to be a pulling force. Clear? Okay. So it is a pulling force. Okay. So now if you look at osmosis, we can actually say as okay, the osmotic pressure, that's actually is okay going to be a pulling force either in the cell that may pull substance as okay from outside the cell into inside of the cell. Or yes, okay, on the other side, if we said okay as the osmotic pressure could also be as okay a pressure of the fluid outside the cell that may actually as okay pull things from the cell out of the cell. Okay. Did that make sense? So for osmosis, what is going to be? What is it that we will have? There's going to be as okay an osmotic pressure. Okay. But as I say, it's okay, osmotic pressure is okay, that's going to be a pulling force, not a pushing force. Okay. That we can say okay, we can say we're going to be okay, responsible for osmosis. Did you guys get that? So if you think of tug of war, have any of you ever played tug of war or seen it being played? Right, okay. Now who wins the game?
The person's still standing.
Well, okay, that's at the end, but you can say, okay, who will win the game? Or which side will win the game?
The person
Probably,
that-
okay, the side which is able to pull the best, right? And why would they be able to pull the best? Because they, yes,
Stronger.
biceps. Right, okay. But of course, that's okay because they are that's the team that is able to pull more. So in this case, we can say, okay, the winning team is going to be the one that has the greatest osmotic pressure. Did that make sense? So if the osmotic pressure inside the cell is greater than the osmotic pressure outside the cell, what's going to happen? Whatever is being pulled upon is going to be pulled from outside the cell to the inside of the cell. Did that make sense? Whereas, okay, if it was opposite, that the osmotic pressure outside the cell was greater than the osmotic pressure inside the cell, then what's going to happen? Whatever substance is being pulled upon, which is going to be transported across the cell membrane as a result of osmosis, will leave the cell and enter into the fluid outside the cell. But, if the osmotic pressure on both sides is equal, both teams are equally strong in tug of war, what's going to happen? Well, okay, they will keep on pulling. That rope is not going to go this side or this side. So you can say, it's okay, if the osmotic pressure on both sides is equal, well, okay, you will not have any net movement of whatever substance is to be pulled across the cell membrane. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just one question. So
Yes.
what's being transported across the cell membrane, is that still gonna be like ions and like small things like that, or can it be bigger?
Well,
Like-
okay, my dear, it's still going to be small, but
Okay.
we said ions and molecules. Okay, when we say ions and molecules, well, okay, yes. We mainly as okay, we mean substances such as okay, sugars, salts, ions, and so on and so. Okay. And there's going to be one exception of a molecule that will not be pulled across the cell membrane here. Because that's going to be as okay, where we will pull across the cell membrane as a result of osmosis. And what is that molecule going to be? Okay. So guys, osmosis, well, okay, it is a passive transport, mainly because, okay, there's no energy being used by the cell. The cell is not going to be using any ATP. is just going to be as okay the difference of the osmotic pressures on either side that will determine whether the substance that is being pulled upon, mainly because okay, the inside of the cell wants to get it, or the substance that is going to be pulled upon and actually is okay be transported across the cell membrane out of the cell because that's okay, it's a greater osmotic pressure on the outside of the cell membrane. That means it's okay to pull that substance out of the cell into the extracellular fluid. So guys, here, so osmosis, let's just do it this way. Osmosis is, we can say, okay, the passive transport of across the cell membrane. And the substance that actually is okay is going to is okay move across the cell membrane, which we will consider osmosis, is water. So I may just word it as, okay, you can say it's okay that osmosis is diffusion of water. Did that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Now again, yes, okay, we can say, oh, okay. Now another thing that, okay, as we may talk about, and okay, as once we get that's okay, cleared, we will then say, okay, now how is it that, okay, as fluid, or actually it's okay, we can say it's okay, water, because it was mainly as okay, sorry, it was going to be as okay, the motion of water across the cell membrane that was called osmosis. Okay, which was determined upon the or by the osmotic pressures. Or we can say, okay, the difference of osmotic pressure across the cell membranes. But when we say osmotic pressure, that was going to be as okay, a pulling force. So what is that the osmotic pressure is going to be do? It's going to pull water across the cell membrane. And that is what we call osmosis. Did you guys get that? So the actual thing that they want, okay, that the osmotic pressure is pulling for is the water. Is going to be the water that will be pulled across the cell membrane, and that is as a result of the difference of the osmotic pressures on either sides. And it most likely is okay, will come to a standstill once the osmotic pressure on both sides is the same. Once the osmotic pressure on both sides is the same, both sides has equal biceps. Okay. And well, okay, yes. The net movement of, okay, as water across the cell membrane will be 0. Now, guys. So to split is okay. To talk of osmosis, that's okay. There's going to be okay another term that I just want to talk about. And that is going to be tonic. Now we mainly as okay have three tonics. And okay, guys, I'm not talking off what you want to call it. It's okay, gin tonic or something like that. Okay. Okay. So there's going to be as okay three types of tonics. Now there's going to be something that we may, yes, okay, let's just go from the lowest to the highest. We can say, yes, okay, there's going to be something that will be considered hypotonic. A greater tonicity than hypotonic is going to be what we'll call isotonic. And okay, as what is going to be greater than hypotonic and greater than isotonic is going to be hypertonic. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. And what the word tonic here is okay, mainly is okay for mean. Or as okay may represent is we can mainly as okay say that okay as the term tonic here as okay may just be as okay an alternative for concentration. So we may have a fluid or we may have fluids which are going to just okay have a low concentration. Which we will call hypotonic. We may have fluids that are going to be as okay hypertonic or have a high concentration. And then we have okay as a fluid which will be considered to be as okay isotonic. Where we already know that it's okay hypo meant low, hyper meant greater, and iso mainly as okay is just okay as a fancy word that means equal or the same. Is that clear? Now, guys, okay, just to make a long discussion short, we can mainly say it's okay that the solution, which is going to be, it's okay, be hypotonic. A hypotonic solution that is going to have a low osmotic pressure. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Good. Whereas, okay, as a solution, which on the other hand is going to be as okay, hypertonic. That hypertonic solution is going to have a greater osmotic pressure. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Good. And now, guys, okay, this is something that is not written in your book. But just because it's not written in your book doesn't mean that I can't talk about it. Doesn't mean that I can't ask you about it. Because, okay, what do we mean by something being isotonic? We're going to say, okay, that means it's okay, going to have is okay, an osmotic pressure that's equal to the osmotic pressure of something else. So when we say isotonic, that means it's okay, going to be any solution that has an osmotic pressure which is equal to the osmotic pressure of blood. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So you see the word isotonic solution? What would that mean? That would mainly mean that this solution here has an osmotic pressure that is equal to the osmotic pressure of blood. And what happens if you have a solution that is going to have an osmotic pressure that is equal to the osmotic pressure of blood? Both teams on either side is equally strong. There will be no movement of fluid from the isotonic solution into the cell, or from the isotonic solution, or okay, from the cell, out of the cell into the isotonic solution. Because both sides are equally strong, having, yes, okay, applying equal osmotic pressure or pulling force to try to pull water across the cell membrane, right? Did you guys recall the last time you were in a hospital, emergency room or anything? Maybe not you in person, but you went with somebody because it's okay. You want to make sure that, okay, as everything goes okay. What's the first thing that you usually as okay will get once they put you in that room? They pass you an IV line, or what do they give you?
Fluids.
Fluid. Now, is that going to be regular as okay tap water?
It's like a saline solution.
Saline solution. Okay. Now, what do they call that saline solution? Next time you look at it, it's going to say normal saline. But if you look closer, it's even going to say it's okay isotonic normal saline. So what does that tell you? Well, okay, you just get some fluid, and where does that fluid go into? It goes directly into your
Veins, your bloodstream.
bloodstream. Clear? Okay, so why do they want to call it, or why do they want it to be as okay isotonic? Because they don't want that, okay, as once this fluid has okay gets into the bloodstream. Because okay, if it was hypotonic, this fluid here had a lower osmotic pressure than the osmotic pressure of your red blood cells. And what will happen then? Fluid will be sucked in from that's okay, low osmotic pressure solution, which are going to be hypotonic, into the cell. And what may happen? The cell may swell. And eventually, it's okay, when something swells beyond its ability, boom, they will burst. Just think of, okay, as you have a balloon, yes, okay. It may only be able to take, yes, okay, a certain amount of air. If you keep on pumping air into that balloon, eventually it will say, boom. Did that make sense? So the reason
Yeah.
that, okay, yes, that is called isotonic. Next time you go and you look it up, it will say it's okay, isotonic solution or normal saline. Clear? So had it been hypotonic, well, okay, yes, eventually will cause that, okay, yes, because now you have, okay, yes, a greater osmotic pressure inside the cells, and that will cause the cells to swell, 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 swell. Why? Because the cell has a greater osmotic pressure, and it's going to be, yes, okay, pulling the water into the cell, and bloop, 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 it may burst. Did that make sense? Clear? As a matter of fact, guys, that's okay. That solution or normal solution, or that's okay, normal saline, which is just okay going to be an isotonic solution. If you look at it in most instances, guys, that's okay, you will see that it says 0.9% of sodium chloride. Now, this 0.9% of sodium chloride, or this 0.9% is okay, mainly it's okay, just specify as okay, how much sugar or how much salt is it that you have in this solution here that causes it to be, that's okay, isotonic. Because, guys, if they, for instance, okay, doubled the concentration, so let's say it's okay, we can say 1.8% of sodium chloride, then this solution here was not going to be isotonic anymore. As a matter of fact, that would be hypertonic. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas, okay, on the other hand, that's okay, if we, okay, reduce it from 0.9% to, let's say it's okay, 0.45%. Please keep in mind, guys, this is not 45% or 0.45%. It's 4.5 or it's 0.45, which actually is going to be, okay, half of 0.9. But this solution now is going to be, okay, hypotonic. Okay, so it was all about, yes, okay, we can say, yes, okay, the difference of the osmotic pressure across the cell membrane that would determine whether fluid moves out or fluid moves in. So the committee says, okay, the side with the greater osmotic pressure will have the greater pulling force. And what is it that we're pulling onto? Water. Did that make sense? Now here we can mainly, yes, okay, say, yes, okay, we have two equal sized, let's say, swimming pools. Let's make it more realistic. Because you know you want to, yes, okay, really move water from one container into another. Clear? Two equal sized swimming pools. Now, since that's okay, both of the swimming pools were equal sized. Well, okay, yes. There were 20 people in both pools. Clear? Here we can just say, it's okay, the people here is okay, that will be, it's okay. You know, the example here is okay, salt or molecules. Now let's say it's okay, each pool was able to, yes, okay, store up to 200 gallons of water. Clear? That was what they were able to, yes, okay, accommodate. Now both pools are of equal size, but in each pool, it's okay, there were 20 people. In one pool, we only put 2 gallons of water. Whereas in the other pool, yes, okay, there were, we can say it's okay, 18 gallons of water. Now the people in the 18 gallon of water, yes, okay, pool were okay, yes, splashing around. Whereas, okay, the people who were in the pool which only had 2 gallons of water were mainly, yes, okay, just waiting, okay, as a little puff. Now it is made as okay, going to be called in both pools, that's okay, it was 20 people. And they will say, well, okay, you guys over there, yes, okay, you have 20 gallons, you have 18 gallons, it's not fair. It should be equal. So yes, okay, anger may, yes, okay, increase your strength. So they're going to go and, okay, fill up the buckets from that other pool and yes, okay, pour into their pool once, okay, as the level is equal. But mainly because it was, okay, as a transfer of water across the cell membrane. That's what we call osmosis. Whereas, okay, it was a transfer of molecules or ions, like people from room to room, or salt molecules or sugar molecules across the cell membrane, just okay, maintain that equilibrium. That would be what we call diffusion. What was important for osmosis and osmotic pressure. Okay, or we can actually say that, okay, yes, it's going to be as okay, the greater concentration in the concentrated solution that is going to, as okay, be that pulling force. Okay, but practically, as okay, it's not the cell that uses any energy to carry out that transport of water across the molecule, across the membrane. Now, guys, you may, yes, okay, on in your book, yes, okay, figure 2-5, not table, but figure 2.5. See, yes, okay, examples of, yes, okay, solutions being isotonic, hypertonic, or hypotonic. Now, guys, okay, it's probably not going to happen that, okay, somebody will be given a hypotonic solution. Okay. In some instances, okay, we would give, yes, okay, the person a hypertonic solution. Okay. And that's mainly as okay, primarily as okay to, yes, okay, reduce the swelling of the tissues. Okay, we will usually just okay do that just okay the night before surgery. Because as okay, we can say as okay, swollen tissues, or as okay, what we may call as okay, edematous tissues, was going to be as okay, bad surgical material. Okay, those anastomoses that we use to as okay, close, or stomies that we use as okay, anastomose. You may as okay, just sprinkle it with hypertonic solution. May as okay to take off the swelling. Because okay, if you were apply the suture, that's okay, do that anastomosis, and once that swelling settles down, that's okay, that anastomosis will start leak. And okay, it's back to square one. Have you guys played that board game with the snakes? You get up to 99, and okay, there's this long snake that brings you back down to 1 or 2. No? OMG.
Like chutes and ladders?
If that's what you call it.
I don't know. That's kind of what it sounds like.
But that's that game. Yes, okay. If you get on a certain number, yes, okay. It may yes, okay, be a ladder. Okay, you can climb up. But then there are snakes. And if you end up the part where there's a snake, yes, okay, maybe it's okay. Take it back down to yes, okay. So usually it's okay up in the 90s. That's okay. That's a big snake. That means it's okay. Bring you down to best to yes, okay. Some of the first rubrics, 3-2 or something like that. And shit, okay, yes, you're back to yes, okay, 0.1. Okay, but generally that's okay. Hypertonic solutions, what would that do? If cells are placed in a hypertonic solution, that's okay. That solution is now having the greater osmotic pressure, more pulling fluid out of the cell. And that's why you can mainly say that the cell will shrink. Why will it shrink? Mainly it's okay because it loses fluid. Why does it lose its fluid? Because it has a lower osmotic pressure than the hypertonic solution that it may be placed in.
What happens to that fluid? It just sits in the
What do you mean?
extra
What
fluid.
happens to that fluid?
Like the fluid that gets pulled out of
Mhm.
the cell.
Well,
Is it
okay,
just
in
gonna
this
sit and
case, yes,
float?
okay, in this case, yeah, it's going to be, it's okay, become a part of what we can call, it's okay, the interstitial fluid, which becomes, just okay, when eventually, it's okay, becomes blood. Okay. So you can mean that's okay, it becomes as okay, cell as okay, fluid within the cell, fluid outside the cell. Fluid outside the cell is going to be blood. Clear? Now, guys, and okay, as I promised, a number that is not written in your book, but some of you may then say, okay, Mike, when we say, it's okay, the osmotic pressure of blood. What is that going to be? $300 milliosmoles per liter. Is that clear?
Is milliosmoles one word?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, it's one word, but yeah.
okay.
Okay. Now, milli, it's okay, just 1,000. Okay. So yes, okay, osmoles per liter is mainly yes, okay, we can say it's okay, the general unit for osmotic pressure. But we can yes, okay, we surely say yes, okay, any solution which is going to just, okay, apply an osmotic pressure of 300 milliosmoles per liter is going to be considered as being isotonic. Why? Because it has the same osmotic pressure as blood. Where you can say it's okay, any solution which is going to have an osmotic pressure that is lesser than 300 milliosmoles per liter is going to be hypotonic. Whereas, okay, is any solution which has, okay, as an osmotic pressure that was greater than, okay, as 300 milliosmoles per liter is going to be hypertonic. The remaining can say is okay here, what is going to is okay, make it hypotonic is mainly is okay due to is okay, mainly going to be as okay a solution with a low concentration. Because we say it's okay if there was less salt in a solution of 1 liter, for instance. 1 liter of fluid, but only has okay 0.45% salt. That was going to be as okay lower concentration of salt in this 1 liter of water, and your solution will be hypertonic. Whereas, okay, if we, for instance, okay, said that we increase the solution or double it, for instance, to 1.8%, which actually is okay that twice the 0.9%. That may mean that okay, that's going to be as okay a greater concentration of salt in that 1 liter amount or 1 liter of fluid. So it's okay, a hypertonic solution is going to have okay as a greater concentration. And due to that greater concentration, you can say it's okay, it's going to be as okay a greater osmotic pressure. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, although it's okay, although guys, this is not a we can say it's okay a chemistry class or something like that, but so we mainly says okay 0.9%, for instance, okay, of sodium chloride. That was going to be as okay isotonic. Okay, where okay, if it was a lesser concentration, we can say 0.45% of sodium chloride. That are going to be as okay hypotonic. And on the other side, that's okay. This is okay 1.8% of sodium chloride. That was going to be hypertonic. Okay. But guys, then you may see as okay a solution that says okay 0.45% of something here. But it's still going to say okay, that will still be isotonic. And that's going to be in the case that okay, the solution is of glucose. So you can say as okay, the sugar molecule has a greater osmotic pressure than salt.
So I'm a little lost.
That's fine. That's fine.
So like these aren't like the 0.45, 0.9, like those aren't specific numbers we have to know, right?
No.
Okay.
But you may see somebody that's okay getting okay as a 0.45% glucose solution. And you say, what the hell are you guys giving us okay my BFF hypertonic solution? No, because that's okay 0.45% of glucose is still isotonic. So we maybe can say it's okay based on that is that okay, that a glucose molecule has a greater osmotic pressure than salt. That's fine. If you know this, it's okay. If you don't know it, it's okay as well. Okay, guys. So this was your passive transport. So what did we have? Two types: diffusion, passive transport of ions and molecules. Clear? Okay. And what was causing this passive transport of the ion and molecule? That's okay. The difference in that's okay concentration gradient. Yeah, okay. The other type of passive transport was osmosis, which was due to that's okay the osmotic pressures, which was a pulling force rather than a pushing force. And what was it that okay the osmotic pressure was going to pull onto or pulling onto? Water. So without any as okay ifs and buts, we can say osmosis is mainly as okay just transport of water across the cell membranes. Okay, due to as okay a different concentration gradient. Okay, but where it's going to be decided with the greater osmotic pressure that will pour more water onto it. Did that make sense? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys. So please remember that's okay what a hypotonic solution is. That's going to be as okay a solution with low concentration. Low concentration will lead to less osmotic pressure. Hypertonic, greater concentration, greater concentration, greater osmotic pressure, more pulling force, pulling onto more water. Isotonic, well, okay, same as blood. So that's okay, no net movement of fluid. If 2 cc's moves out of the cell, on the other hand, 2 cc's move inside the cell. Okay, so you may see as okay those two equal teams as okay that marker in the middle of the row as okay may just move back and forth like this, but there's no real winner. Did you guys get that? So that was it's okay being isotonic, and okay here we have okay a standard that we say okay what is going to be referred to as being isotonic. Well, okay, yes. Whatever fluid has an equal same osmotic pressure as that of blood, which is 300 milliosmoles per liter. But next time, yes, okay, God forbid, you have to, yes, okay, be in the hospital for yourself or somebody else, and they are getting, okay, as an IV fluid, just look it up. So I will say, yes, okay, 0.9%. Did that make sense? Now, guys, take your lunch break. And when we come back, yes, okay, we can talk a bit about, yes, okay, the active transport. Okay. But just think of the active transport as, okay, as what is going to be using? Energy. So before, yes, okay, we start, yes, okay, making you guys, yes, okay, use some energy, go and get some energy. Okay. So would it be fair that I see you guys back at, should we say, 12:45? So we talk about active energy transport. We will talk of communication between cells by signaling. Okay. Now just keep in mind, girls, that's okay. You guys don't need to know about things such as the mitosis and meiosis and so on, or cell division. Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, I see somebody else, okay, saying, okay, thanks the Lord. Well, don't thank me. Okay? We don't talk about that. And guys, as far as the tissues are concerned, I hope all of you are clear upon the tissues. We already discussed the tissues when we talked about them and the organization of the body. So these are mainly, as okay, just the two small or bigger topics that we are left about talking about. So that's okay. That's cell division, meiosis, and mitosis. That's okay. You don't need to know that. So let's cross that out. Right? Okay. Clear? Good. So see you. Okay, before I eat up your lunchtime. See you guys back at 12:45. Okay, guys. Enjoy it. Hey guys, welcome back. Any questions? Any questions, guys? Nope. Okay, so that was your passive transport. Let's just talk about active transport. Clear? Okay, and what I said earlier was, okay, yes, it is called active transport. Mainly as okay as energy is utilized by the cell to carry out the active transport. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Good. Now the question is, okay, yes. What do we mean by the energy? Now this energy is going to be nothing but HEP, right? And where does this HEP come from? From the mitochondria. Okay, so it's going to be the mitochondria that produces this HEP here. And what is that HEP going to be used for now? We can say it's okay, active transport. Did you guys get that?
What's after the word to? What
Carry.
does that say? Carry? Okay, thank you.
Carry out the active transport. That's why we called it active transport, because it was going to use, okay, or the cell was going to use energy to carry it out. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, which mainly as, okay, say, what would that kind of transport then be? Well, we can mainly say, okay, it will be as, okay, from lower concentration to higher concentration. Because the opposite was what we called passive transport, right? Okay, guys, now yesterday or whenever it was, when we talked cell membrane, right? You remember cell membrane?
Yep.
Good. And what did we say that was? Well, it was like a phospholipid bilayer. And what I also said at point said, yes, okay, that okay, what may have, yes, okay, from point to point was going to be, or yes, okay, go call, yes, okay, ligand proteins, right? Okay, or gated ligands. Okay, and it's, guys, it's actually going to be, yes, okay, these gated ligands here. That will, yes, okay, play a main role in active transport. Because now we may going to say, yes, okay, that it will be, yes, okay, the transport of substances, okay, through this gated ligand, either, yes, okay, from inside the cell to the outside, or or the other way. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Any questions at this moment?
Nope.
So let's just do and see. It's okay. We have a regular cell membrane. Yes, okay. We say yes, okay. We have a gated ligand protein, for instance. And okay, so yes. cell membrane. Now, this gated ligand, yes, okay, it's gated protein, or what we call it, okay, ligand protein, or gated ligand protein, whichever, is locked. It's locked. It's closed. It's gated. Did that make sense?
Yep.
So if you come across a gate that is closed and you want to get through that gate, what do you need? What is
ATP.
it? Huh?
ATP. Energy.
My dear, if you, well, okay, you answered ahead. But anyways, you come across a closed gate, the thing that you will need to get through that gate is going to be a key, right? Right? And in our case, yes, okay, our key is going to be ATP. Where is this ATP going to come from? From the mitochondria. And what we most likely will have is that, okay, yes, on the surface of this gate here are going to be, yes, okay, something that we will call, yes, okay, the ATP receptors, or the locks, into which, yes, okay, the ATP will fit. And mainly, yes, okay, open up the gate. Is that clear? And as this gate here opens up, yes, okay, that's when there's going to be, yes, okay, we can say, yes, okay, movement or transport of substances in and out. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we say it's okay that the gate here opens, is that just going to just okay indiscriminately allow things to pass in and out of the cell? What do you think? Is there going to be a door that okay as once opened? It doesn't really matter who wants to get in and who wants to get out. They can do whatever they want. No, it's going to just okay be pretty much selective. Okay. So that actually that's okay are going to be as okay gates that say, well, okay, I'm opening. But as okay, there's limitations of how much we'll be able to leave at a time and how much is going to be able to just okay, you can say enter. And not just a matter of how much, it also is okay, who is it that I will allow to leave? And who is it that I will allow to just okay enter? Did that make sense? So you may say, well, okay, as you are waiting at a gate and hoping for somebody to just okay open it. But yes, okay, if you don't have the employee ID or the ticket that is valid to enter in through that gate, well, okay, though the gate is open, you're standing there, also okay, it will not let you through. Is that clear? Any questions? But mainly because this is the transportation that happens through the cell membranes or across the cell membrane. through, yes, okay, ligand gates or protein gates or channels that needs to be opened with the magical key called ATP, which is the energy molecule of your cell. That's why, yes, okay, this will be active transport, which needs ATP. Did you guys get that? Okay, now guys, there's going to be as okay an ocean of okay a different ligand proteins and so on, so on. So we're not going to go into yes, okay, all the minute details of those. Okay. Okay. We can just take yes, okay, two, well, okay, as common and simple examples of ligand proteins or gates. Okay, and they may actually, it's okay, because what is that they're going to do? That's okay, when they open, that's okay, they pump. Okay, so some people may, yes, okay, also just call them, yes, okay, pumps. Now we can take an example. Now, guys, there's okay, yes, one that's going to be called, yes, okay, a sodium potassium pump. Now, just so you guys know, yes, okay, both of these here are positive ions. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good. Now, guys, let's just say that we have our bilayer, yes, okay, phospholipid, and okay, yes, the pump that we have here is a sodium potassium pump. Now, just to, yes, okay, make things clear, we can say, yes, okay, this here is, this side here is going to be, yes, okay, sorry, the inside of the cell. Whereas, okay, we can see that this side here is, okay, that's going to be outside the cell. Now, generally, it's okay, what we have outside the cell, guys, is high concentration of sodium. As inside the cell is going to be as okay, generally as okay, sorry, low concentration of sodium. Whereas, okay, on the other side is okay, outside the cell. Generally, it's okay, normally it's okay, where it is going to be okay, be low potassium. But inside the cell is going to be okay, be great potassium. Now, guys, when this pump here is going to, yes, okay, open, mainly it's okay because of the ATP. It will open up, and what strange enough, yes, okay, will happen is that, okay, yes, that we actually, yes, okay, will have three sodium molecules passing inside the cell. And it's going to be, yes, okay, only two potassiums passing out. So as a result of, okay, as this opening of this gate here, so, okay, what will happen is that, okay, as the inside of the cell becomes more positively charged. Because that's okay, for each time this gate here opens, that's okay, the cell loses 2 positive charge, but actually it's okay, receives 3. Did that make sense?
So
So-
3 sodium go in and then 2 potassium go out.
Exactly.
Okay.
But what I mean is, okay, what happened as long as this happens is, okay, the cell become more and more positively charged. That's going to be, it's okay, where we, in terms of, okay, we'll call it the cell become depolarized. But this depolarization is going to cause that, okay, as the cell goes into an action. So although it's okay, we say it's okay, electrical signal is not an electrical signal that you may use, yes, okay, know from, yes, okay, your electrical gadgets. Okay. But it's more of a chemical electrical signal that is going to, yes, okay, enable, yes, okay, your body structures to kick into action. Did that make sense? Any questions? But here we can mainly says, okay, mainly because of the ATP opening this gate here. But again, yes, okay, we'll say, well, okay, only 2 potassiums can leave. And for those 2 potassiums, 3 sodiums come in. Gate closed. Open again, okay. 3 sodiums come in, 2 potassiums can leave. Did you guys get that? So this is just one example. But you can maybe say, okay, what ensures this car is okay, movement of in and out of occurs is the ATP that binds to the pump. And each time it pumps, just okay, that's going to just okay, what comes in and what goes out. Is that clear, ladies or guys? Sorry. Good. We can just take another example of another pump. And now this is going to be as okay, sodium glucose pump. Now the concept is going to be the same. But what means yes, okay, yes, there's only open, yes, okay, in case of okay, yes. Some yes, okay, ATP being activated. But what's going to actually happen is that okay, and not only is it going to be sodium, that would enter the cell. But that sodium along with it will also yes, okay, pull onto some glucose. So that's a sodium glucose pump. And mainly because it says okay, it's transport of okay as for both the things as okay in the same way is that's why they also as okay we call it okay a co-transport pump. Sodium potassium, sodium glucose co-transport pump. Did you guys get that?
So
But
the
again, yes,
sodium, I'm sorry, the sodium and the glucose both get pulled in,
yes,
pulled out. Oh,
It-
okay.
insert that.
Okay.
But these were yes, okay, just okay as some examples. But mainly as okay, we can mainly say okay, because it's okay, something needs to open up this pump here. Or ligand protein or so and so. That's something in most instances, okay, will be ATP. Or it's okay, some form or some sort of energy.
Is the ATP only on the inside or is it on both sides?
No, my dear, where do you find ATP?
The
Or where does
inside of the
ATP come from? Mitochondria. And where do you have the mitochondria?
Inside the cell.
Good. So
Okay.
that answers your question. Okay, guys. Now there is a fancy process. And we can just briefly, yes, okay, and let me see. Let me just see, guys. I should have that. Okay. Okay, guys. So there is a fancy process. And well, okay, what we call it is this process here is going to be called FAG. Now, I'm just going to break it up so you can actually say, okay, look at where it will mean FAG O side osis. Now, what remained is okay, man, that osis was okay, that was an abnormal process. Well, it would not be that abnormal because it's okay, it's something that is going to happen, but it's not something that happens routinely. Why? Mainly because it's okay, there's something that is going to be abnormal that is going to be fagged or swallowed. Now, okay, but what this phagocytosis here is going to be is okay, it is going to be, you can say, okay, an example of active transport. Okay. Now, guys, in large, that's okay, what is a phagocytosis is. Now, if you look at it, it's mainly as okay, going to be as okay, cells being eaten up by cells. Did that make sense?
Yep.
Good. Right. Okay. So we can mainly say as okay, now when is that usually as okay going to happen? We can say as okay, for instance, as okay, here we have a bacteria. Is that clear? We have a bacteria. Now, of course, that's okay. We don't want this bacteria is okay to be around because it's causing trouble. So how is it that just okay, the body is going to just okay? You can say, okay, may try to get rid of the bacteria here is. Or eat it. So we may have, yes, okay, body cells. Like this fellow here. This is okay, is going to be, it's okay, a body cell. Now, a couple of things will happen. First of all, yes, okay, this bacteria, yes, okay, he or she may be clever. But yes, okay, they may, yes, okay, release chemical substances. These chemical substances, okay, released by the bacteria, may be, yes, okay, sensed by this cell here. And this cell know what to do in case that it receives, okay, as a chemical signal like this produced by the bacteria. Now, what this cell actually is, okay, will start doing is, okay, moving towards the bacteria. And as it does move, yes, okay, what it also is, okay, will try, as okay, start doing is actually, is okay, extending arms out. But eventually, yes, okay, it may, yes, okay, just goes on, bloop, yes, okay, engulfs the bacteria. Or some people may, yes, okay, say, okay, the bacteria actually, yes, okay, may attach to the surface of this cell here. And then, okay, yes, some channels may open and the bacteria, okay, ends up inside the cell. And now it's going to be, okay, this cell actually will go and destroy it. Why, you guys ever played Pac-Man? Okay, God, thanks, Lord. Last some question I asked and somebody else, okay, is nodding. Okay, and what is that Pac-Man does? Okay, so just think of it this way. Right, okay. How would it know, yes, okay, where to go? Yes, okay, mainly because it says, okay, there's a ghost over there, there's a ball over there, whatever, yes, okay, your Pac-Man game just, okay, wants to eat. Clear? But this whole process of, okay, where, okay, as this cell will come around group, engulf, yes, okay, most likely, yes, okay, you can say it's okay, bacteria at that cell that the body may is okay. So like you're floating around here, we don't really need you around here because, well, okay, yes, it's getting stinky. Okay, so what do? Come and engulf it. Or eat it up, or yes, okay. So that process by yes, okay, where cells are eaten up by cells is what we'll call phagocytosis. It means just okay, the process of eating up cells. Did that make sense? Okay, and phagocytosis, guys, is an example of active transport. Just remember that much. Okay, now another thing, because as I say, it's okay, the bacteria may, it's okay, eliminate, it's okay, release certain chemicals, chemical substances and whatsoever. Mainly it's okay due to it's okay the activity that is doing, causing trouble, right? Okay, but we can mainly say it's okay that signal, or mainly it's okay the ability of that body cell that actually is okay will enable it to move towards the bacteria, or towards that's okay where the bacteria is, as a response or as a result of those chemical signals released by the bacteria, is going to be called chemotaxis. So we can say, okay, what will chemotaxis be? We can say, okay, we can do it this way and say, yes, okay. That's okay, it's going to be the motion of the body cell. In this case, that's okay, towards the bacteria, right? As a result of the chemical signals sent by the bacteria. So guys, okay, as the reason that I wrote in an okay as the underlying colors is mainly as okay how I remembered what chemotaxis is. Okay. Maybe say, okay, it was chemical signals, yes, okay, produced by the bacteria. That's where the word chemical chemo comes in. Or as I say, it's okay, I use this as a cheat. Okay. And okay, here Texas main is okay. Well, it's going to be as okay a process because it ends with is. But I just yes, okay, use this first part here. Taxi. And say yes, okay, if I would need to just okay get from one point to another, I may get on a taxi. Now you guys call it a cab. Right, okay. It's okay. But okay, guys, this was a term that my teacher only as okay, or as okay in all my years in med school as okay was only mentioned once. And yes, okay, guys, it's been almost just okay 40 years now. And I still remember. Okay, so yes, okay, just because of a cheat. So yes, okay, if you guys, okay, so you can say it's okay. The taxi that you hop onto that will take you towards the area, yes, okay, where this chemical signal is coming from is chemotaxis. So that's pretty much okay how this, well, okay, not really anybody, but it's okay, cell here is okay, we know it's okay in which direction to go. Now, do you guys like movies? Okay, now this may not be Titanic or whatever, yes, okay. But yes, okay. Now, guys, okay, you don't need yes, okay, going to yes, okay, know about it, all the crazy details that it shows here. But that's okay, just realize, okay, look at okay, what is that chemotaxis actually is, or yes, okay, shortly, yes, okay, how does it happen? Okay, don't get into yes, okay, all the crazy terms and so on, so on, so on that you may hear. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Good. And hopefully it's okay when I play it. Yes, okay. Oh, shit, sorry.
In phagocytosis, phagocytes are attracted to the area of invasion by chemical products of the microorganism, phospholipids released by injured mammalian cells, or by components of the complement system. The phagocyte moves into the area of invasion and then attaches to the microorganism. The attachment is mediated by a variety of surface receptors, including antibody, lipopolysaccharide, and complement receptors. For example, the C3b component of complement coats bacteria or other particles and then binds to C3b receptors on the phagocyte. This process of coating to enhance phagocytosis is called opsonization. The microorganism is then engulfed by the phagocyte into a vacuole known as a phagosome. Vesicles in the cytoplasm called lysosomes fuse with the phagosome, releasing digestive enzymes such as lysozyme and proteases into the phagosome. The structure resulting from this fusion is called a phagolysosome. Inside the phagolysosome, microorganisms are killed and digested. Finally, the digested contents of the phagolysosome are eliminated from the phagocyte by exocytosis.
Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
So shortly, right? Okay. Now, does anybody have any questions? No questions? Okay, guys. So as I said before, yes, okay, going on to break. Yes, okay, we don't need to know about meiosis, mitosis, and so on. So, okay. So our last topic for this chapter here that we will be discussing, since we already, okay, talked about the tissues in details. You guys can see the whiteboard, right?
Yeah.
Good. Is going to be as okay. We can say as okay. Or we may as okay say as okay. How do cells communicate with one another? Is that clear?
Yep.
So we can mainly say it this way here. Okay. Let's just say that, okay, as we have a cell here. We will just label this one here as, okay, as cell E. Is that clear? And we have a cell here. And we will just label this one here as cell B. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Now these may as okay want to communicate with one another. Or let us put this, okay, let's just simplify it down. Let's say, well, okay, as cell A wants to tell cell B something. Not just anything, but cell A may as okay have a command or a task that it wants cell B to do. Did that make sense? So not something, but as okay, command to do. Okay. So they're not just going to be talking or communicating with one another just because for the sake of communication. There's going to be a purpose. So cell A mainly as okay wants cell B to do something. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Now this is mainly as okay, we can say as okay from A to Z. is going to be as okay a 4-step process. Now the first step is going to be as okay what we call signaling. Now since we said okay it was going to be cell A that wants to yes okay that wants cell B to yes okay perform a certain action. Well, okay, it will be cell A that actually yes okay will be sending out a signal. And sending out that signal, that's what we will call signaling. So we can say, okay, sending out a signal by a cell is going to be signaling. Now, guys, what you guys may have realized by now is that, okay, as most activities in the body are chemical. Clear? Okay. Although it's a chemical, yes, okay, but it may be, yes, okay, electrical chemicals. Okay. Okay. Or in this instance, we can say, yes, okay, this may be, yes, okay, cell A may be, yes, okay, a cell of a gland that send a signal to another cell in the form of hormone. And what is a hormone? It's going to be, yes, okay, a chemical substance. But enlarge, yes, okay, we can say, yes, okay, whenever a message is sent out by a cell, that process is going to be called signaling because it sends a signal. Did you guys get that? Good. Now this signal here is okay. Well, okay, yes, it's sent out. It's sent out, but it's going to be as okay a specific signal for this cell here. Now we may say as okay there may be as okay other cells around us as well. Yes, okay, we may have cells like we can call them C. We can say it's okay, there's a D, there's an E, there's an F, and so on. Now, how is it that will be ensured that the signal sent out by cell A here only and only as okay will reach to B and not the other cells that we had, C, D, E, F, G. That's mainly because, okay, this cell here is going to have, okay, as what we can call as, okay, a specific receptor. You just saw it in the previous video. Okay, so what is that receptor going to be? Yes, okay, that's going to be as okay an area where this cell here only yes, okay, receive this kind of signal, yes, okay, released by E. So mainly as okay, cell B receiving the signal sent by cell A is going to be as okay our next step in the communication. And that's what we call reception. So what is reception going to be? That cell receives the signal. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Yes.
Good. Now the next, mainly as okay, what's going to happen next is mainly as okay going to happen in B. Because Now, yes, okay, the message was sent, it was received. Now, in rough terms, we can mainly say as, okay, this message is sent, it is received. And now, yes, okay, this cell actually is okay, or cell B actually is okay, will have to read this message. And that's what we'll call as, okay, transduction. Okay. So we can actually say, okay, that actually is okay, we can say, okay, opens up and reads the message. Or we can say, okay, now the message is conveyed. Now is it that cell B know what cell A signaled it to do or told it to do? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. And mainly because it had the suitable receptor to receive those kind of just okay commands from cell A. It received the message, it read it, and if it is a good obedient cell, well, okay, the last thing that's going to be left is going to be response. So what are we response? That okay, yes, we can say okay, see that the cell, which cell is okay, the cell that received is okay. Well, we can say okay, carry out the action. Did that make sense? What
Yeah.
action? Well, okay, the action that cell A told it to perform. Now let's just take this in a very yes, okay, day-to-day example. Now, guys, how do we communicate with one another?
Talking.
Okay. If you don't have time to, yes, okay, open your mouth and utter the words.
Texting.
Texting, here you go. That's more. Because, yes, okay, you may write a text message, right? Let's say, yes, okay, you are coming home from school, work, whatsoever. The roads are blocked, you are stuck in a traffic jam. And your GPS said, well, okay, it's going to, yes, okay, then estimated 2 hour, yes, okay, time to, yes, okay, reach your destination. You go, oh shit, it's already, yes, okay, it's already 6 o'clock. By the time I get home, it's going to be super late. And well, I'm going to be tired because sitting in a car, there's a group, like this. It's tiring, it's exhausting. So I will not have the energy or the ATPs to make dinner. So what will you do? You would send a text message, right? Or you write a text message saying, "Hun, stuck in traffic, please just order some pizza." No. You don't want that message to be sent to every SOK cellular phone number in the world, right? If that's the case, that's okay. A lot of pizza stores are going to get busy. Right? So you send out SOK that message to a cell that has the receptor to pick up a message from you, right? That would be the number that you send it to. Okay, so you choosing a number from your phone directory or contacts mainly as okay, sets well, okay, yes, which cell is going to yes, okay, be receiving this message here. Now you can only as okay send that message, or that receiver or say a cell phone is only going to be able to just okay receive your message, although you send it, if you're not blocked. Right, okay. Okay. You can say here is okay, what may have caused it to, or what may have caused yes, okay, you to be blocked is, well, okay, that receiver or that cell doesn't have the receptor to receive that message. If that phone, if that cell is not as okay able to as okay receive text messages, well, okay, as you can send as many messages you want, it won't receive it. Or you may be sending it on WhatsApp or whatever you call it. But if that recipient doesn't have WhatsApp, will he or she be able to receive it? No. Clear? Okay. You may as okay send a messenger, Instagram, whatever, TikTok. Okay. But it's okay if that recipient doesn't have that, well, okay, he or she will not be able to get it. But let's say it's okay, you know, well, okay, yes, he or she got WhatsApp, so it's okay. If I send a message on WhatsApp, that's okay, he will receive it. So that's reception. Now, what's next? Most likely, it's okay, he or she will open up the message and read it. And since that's okay, the message said, well, okay, I'm going to be late home, order this pizza. So that's the command, and that's what is going to be done. So when you get home at okay, 1 o'clock, that's okay, there's pizza. Did that make sense? Okay. So this is not just okay as how cells communicate, even as okay, drugs that you take, medications that you take, the way that they are actually is okay going to be able to just okay go in and you can say okay relieve you from your symptom or whatsoever. So is because okay, okay, some drugs, not all drugs, but some of those drugs actually as okay may work by targeting receptors on the cell and have a different signal. Suddenly say, okay, you've been doing this is causing trouble. Okay, so I have a new command for you. This is your command from now on. And that's okay. Yes, the drug may or the cell may say, okay, I just received this message. Okay. Which may be as crazy as okay, let's take the laundry to the pizza store. What the hell? But yes, okay, that's what it's going to be doing. And okay, that may relieve you from your symptoms of a migraine or whatsoever. Okay. Now, a common example we can talk of two examples. I usually is okay used to give these. Now, we said, for instance, insulin. Now, insulin is okay, it's a hormone, but mainly as okay, it's going to be a signal, right? It's going to be a signal. Signal send is okay produced by the cell A. In this case, it's going to be as okay cells in the pancreas. Now that insulin is going to be released, but it will only as okay attach onto cells which has the receptor that will allow insulin to fit into it. You may have remember, yes, okay, you may remember, yes, okay, that game from your childhood with a big box with different shapes, stars, moon, triangles, circles, and so on. So, right, okay. So that's okay. The circle will only go into the hole that is shaped like a circle. The star will only go into the. Okay, so the same here. Okay, that okay, yes. For each substance, that's okay. That's going to be, that's okay, specific receptors. Not necessarily, it's okay, shaped as stars, circles, triangles, cubes, whatsoever. But the same concept. That the star only goes into the star-shaped hole. The circle only goes into the circle-shaped hole, and so on. So body cells that mainly as okay, primarily as okay, may be in need of sugar or glucose will have insulin receptors. Now, insulin as okay, receptors receiving insulin, that's going to be reception. And now the insulin is okay, that was a chemical substance. It was a hormone, it was a signal. The cell will read this message that the insulin tells it or has brought it. And that message tells or reads, open up the gates so that sugar can go from blood into the cell. And that's going to be as okay once that reach that, or what we call as okay transduction. At the other end, that's going to be a response. Those channels or gates will open, and okay, as glucose goes into the cell.
What happens to a person who has insulin resistance? Does that affect, like, does that have to do with the receptors, or is that like a whole different
Well,
thing?
okay, the resistance is main. Okay, what they say is that okay, yes, the receptor may not be as responsive to the message. So I may read the message, and the message reads, well, okay, yes, transport this much sugar from the blood into the cell. Now I'm just talking. Okay? Okay. But if the response is low, you say, well, I can't let this much sugar in. But okay, you asked me to let in this, okay, 2,000 molecules of sugar. Well, I'm not going to fulfill your request of 2,000, but I can let 2 in. Or 20. Did that make sense? Okay. But whereas me is okay, just because the receptor gets stubborn and doesn't just okay do yes okay exactly what is being told to do or whatsoever. Okay. Just like okay, yes, back home. Somebody yes okay he wanted to buy a gun. Now you have to have a license to buy a gun. But what he did was he submitted an application to buy a tank. Now somebody told him, well, okay, how in the hell are you submitting an application to buy a tank? They're not going to let you buy a tank. He said, okay, I can always bargain. I said, okay, well, don't give me a license for a tank, but at least give me a license for a gun. Okay. So, okay. But then you may also have, okay, as some of you may have heard of a substance that we call beta blockers. Now, if you look at the word blocker, what does that mean? That mainly mean that, okay, it blocks the receptor. So there actually is, okay, a receptor that we call beta receptors. Okay, beta is just as, okay, the Greek or Latin for B. But normally speaking, yes, okay, those beta receptors actually, yes, okay, were acted upon by adrenaline. Adrenaline is a common, yes, okay, chemical signal that will fit onto those beta receptors. Did that make sense? Now, what the beta blocker will do, or when it says, okay, beta blocker, it's a chemical substance, well, okay, you take it as a medication, or what we're going in and doing is preoccupy the beta receptors. So in case that, okay, yes, adrenaline comes by and wants to act upon the receptors, they say, well, okay, the receptor is already occupied. I have nowhere to sit. I have nowhere to go. So that's how it's okay. Those beta blockers actually, it's okay, reduces your, in this case, it's your blood pressure. Okay. How? By blocking. By blocking the receptor. So if you tell somebody, well, okay, go and sit on the blue chair in the third room, they may go and, but what they see is that, okay, all the blue chairs in that room is already occupied. And they may just, okay, be roaming around. Now, there was a not funny, actually, it's okay, a tale. In a kingdom, yes, okay, what was it? That, okay, there was a king. Now, two things about that kingdom. First of all, it had a weird law. That once everybody, yes, okay, who turned 60 would be, yes, okay, sent out of the kingdom, left alone on a island. And pretty much, okay, would not be able to survive and, okay, die. So, yes, okay, your age limit in that kingdom was 60 years because they would mean, yes, okay, just extradict you from the kingdom. Now, karma is a bee because the king of that kingdom, well, okay, not that he was turning 60 and he was going, but what actually happened to him, yes, okay, every night that the Satan or devil himself would come and haunt the king so that the king hardly could get any sleep. Now, the king got pretty tired of this because, okay, a lot of sleepless nights. This, okay, was some point, so he was getting enough for him. So what did he do? He announced that anybody who can, yes, okay, come up with a cure for this so I can get some sleep. So that the Satan or the devil doesn't come as, okay, harm me the whole night. I'm going to fulfill his, okay, whatever wish he has. Now, yes, okay, different people try with different tricks, it doesn't work. Now, in that kingdom, there was a guy whose dad was about to turn 60 years. And you know, okay, once he turns 60 years, okay, they're going to take my father away. So he asked his dad, do you have a solution for this thing here? And he said, yes, okay, that's very easy. Just go and tell the king to do so and so and so. So this guy walked, that's okay, he said, okay, let me try it. So he walked off, as he went to the palace, he said, okay, your Highness, I got a solution for your problem. You go, what is that? Now, here was the thing. He said, okay, just replace all the windows of the palace with mirrors. facing outwards. So all windows in the palace were replaced by a mirror facing outwards. Now during the night when the Saturn came and wanted to enter the palace, what did he see? His own reflection, right? And he said, okay, somebody like me is already here, so what the hell? He left. And okay, he was not able to harm the king, and the king got some sleep. Now, next day, yes, okay, the king sent a message out for this guy and said, okay, you know, well, okay, yes, whatever the hell happened, but okay, it worked. So what is your wish? And he said, well, okay, this is a suggestion that my father gave me. So that's okay. Although it's okay, people turn 60, you may say, okay, what good are they going to be doing rather than sitting in a corner and coughing and cursing out of people? Well, okay, we can still learn from their experience of life. So please change this wicked law. Right, okay. So yes. At some point, yes, okay, when you guys get 60 or close to 60, just change your children or grandchildren the story. That may be annoying to listen to. But yes, okay. Okay, guys. Okay. So pretty much okay, that's how you can say it's okay that blockers may work. Reoccupy. So yes, okay. If the yes, okay, actual substance comes by, that's okay, it may not be able to fit onto it because that's okay, it is already occupied. Any last words of wisdom? Okay.
Happy weekend.
No, not so quick. One last, not story, actual. You guys may have heard of the drug called Percocet, hydrocodone, oxycodone. Yeah. Now that acts on, that's again, that's okay, going to be acting on a receptor called the mu receptor. Now, primary, okay, those mu receptors are in the brain. But where else do you find these mu receptors? In your gut. So that tells you that's okay, why you may get constipated when you take, yes, okay, strong painkillers like that. Now in the brain, just a segment here. Because in the brain, yes, okay, those mu receptors that are going to, yes, okay, be, yes, okay, picking up the chemical signal of pain. So that's been blocked in the brain, and that's why you don't feel the pain. But in the gut, those same mu receptors actually, yes, okay, do two things. First of all, yes, okay, maybe you can say promote the motion of the gut. Second is also, yes, okay, going to, we can say, okay, cause secretion of mainly, yes, okay, fluids into the gut. Clear? Okay. So that's one, yes, okay. That last thing is okay, becomes as okay, adverse effect. That the person actually, yes, okay, gets constipated. Yes.
Is that why they try to make sure that you go to the bathroom after you leave the hospital and you're taking like painkillers? Like I know like after you have anesthesia, they have to make sure that you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, because what anesthesia also does, it pretty much, well, not paralyzed, but it's okay, stops. It's okay. You can say it's your bowel movements and so. So every, yes, okay. First, that's okay. What we call is okay. Post-op day, yes, okay. Before telling the patient, well, okay, listen, okay, you can start, okay, as eating and drinking. We will want to make sure that, okay, he or she have had a bowel movement. Now, not necessarily is okay poop, because before the procedure is okay, the patient would have been fasting for XYZ number of hours. So that might not have been real, actually. It's okay, stuff in the bowel tube. Poop out. But he says, okay, did you have an F heart? Did you pause them in? Okay, if that is the case, okay, you can say, okay, the bowels are moving. But we will stay as, okay, listen for bowel movements. Okay, guys, but yes, okay, stories or not, or whatsoever, yes, okay, that was your chapter number 2. Any last words of wisdom?
Is that the end of chapter 2?
Huh?
Is that the end of chapter 2?
Yes. Did we talk about issues?
Yeah, previously, yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all for that. Okay. And as I said, and I say it again, and okay, yes, that section of cell division, meiosis, mitosis, just cross that out. We don't need to. Yes, okay. Okay. Okay, guys. So yes, okay. I guess from Monday on, yes, okay, we will be start talking about the systems. Okay. Good. Now, have a blessed evening or day. Enjoy it. Take care. And see you guys on Monday then.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Okay, so do you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah.